Yes, sir.
Okay, Nana. Now tell me whether this frictional force will oppose the motion or supports the motion.
Both.
Opposes the motion that which leads it to stop.
Very good, Nana. It opposes the motion as you are not applying an external force to stop it. When it is traveling on the ground itself only, after traveling some distance will stop. Why it will stop, Nana? When that ball is moving on the road, sorry, on the ground, that ground and ball are in contact with each other, and when those two are in contact with each other, one force will act in between those two surfaces which opposes the motion of an object, and that particular force only is known as which force, Nana? Frictional force, or that only will be known as friction. Now
Sir.
let us try to understand, Nana. The force which always opposes the motion of an object over another object in contact with it is called which one, Nana? Friction. Now tell me whether friction is a contact force or non-contact force.
Contact.
Contact.
What do you mean by contact, Nana?
Come
It
here.
has to be in contact with the object.
Who is speaking? Kavya.
Yes,
Tell me, Nana. What do you mean by contact force?
it's when two objects meet and a force is used there. So
Ronak, tell me, Nana.
Any force that needs contact, like
Right. Contact means touching or without touching?
So with
touching,
with that,
with touching.
With the touching only. So if two objects are in touch with each other with a force, then that force is known as what, Nana? Contact force. Now tell me whether frictional force is a contact force or non-contact.
contact.
Very
Contact.
good. You only
it's a
said contact.
force.
Can anybody say what is the example for non-contact force, Nana?
Come here.
Tell me, Nana.
Magnetic force.
So gravitational force, magnetic force, electrostatic force.
Very good, Nana. Magnetic force, electrostatic force, gravitational force. Now maybe you know that planets are revolving around the sun in a circular orbits. Because of what they will rotate, Nana, like that?
So magnetic.
Huh? Again,
So sorry. Gravitational.
Gravitational force.
very good, Nana. Gravitational force. Whether gravitational force is a contact or non-contact.
Non-contact.
Whether planet and sun are contacting with each other.
No, sir.
No, no. So it is a non-contact force, but whereas frictional force is a contact force, isn't it? And where we observe this frictional force, let us observe few examples, Nana, and observe carefully this particular picture there. Now observe carefully, Nana. What is the first picture? Skating. And when you are skating on the road, tell me, Nana, what happens?
Due to the friction, we move forward.
Due to friction, you will move forward, or if you apply external force, then you move.
We apply force, but that eventually causes friction, which makes the wheels move forward.
Right, Nana. So we have to apply some external force, and by that it moves. And when that particular shoes which are having wheels are moving between that wheels and the road, what happens, Nana? Frictional force will act, and due to that frictional force, it will stop. And like that, writing also. While you are writing on a paper, tell me, Nana, what happens? Paper and that nib of the pen are in contact with each other. When they are in contact with each other, definitely which force will act, Nana? Frictional force will act. And walking also, in walking also, your foot is touching the ground. That means two surfaces are in contact with each other. There also, which force will act, Nana? Frictional force will act. And for a lighting of a matchstick also, which force will act, Nana? Frictional force will act when you are rubbing that particular matchstick with corner of that particular what, Nana? Matchbox. And even if you rub your hands for 2 to 3 times, what do you observe, Nana? When you're rubbing your hands, what do you observe, Nana?
Our hands get warm.
Very good. Our hands will get warm, and if you keep onto your chin, you can feel that heat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. Now, when you are driving the car also, or when you are driving the vehicle also, now you know that tires are there. And when tires are there, those tires are in contact with the ground or not. And when those tires are moving on the ground or moving on the road, what happens is one kind of a force will develop, contact force will develop, which will oppose the motion of an object, and that force only will be called which force, Nana? Frictional force.